Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier, I want you to be happier. When the morning comes, and we see what we've become. In the cold light of day, we're a flame in the wind, not the fire that we begun.
Hey guys, it's Rachel. So today I'm going to do a study tips video, and I'm going to show you kind of what works for me when I study, and hopefully these tips work for you. So let's get started. Step one is to turn on music, a show, YouTube video, anything that has background noise for you. Or if you're not good at background noise, turn off your phone or put it on silent. Personally, I like background noise, so I either go to a YouTube channel and click on a video, turn autoplay on, and I just continually watch the videos as background noise as I study, or I turn on music on my study tunes playlist on Spotify, and it's 6 hours long, so it does me well, and I listen to music as I study, and both methods help me really well because I like background noise. I can't study in silent rooms, so this all just works for me, but it's understandable. Sometimes you just need a quiet place to study, so you know, you get me. Step two is to study one thing at a time. I know you want to get a lot of things done all at once because so many assignments are getting thrown at you and so many exams are getting thrown at you, but that's okay. Just study one thing at a time because you don't want to get confused on what you need to do and what you need to know, so try to focus on one thing. So you can focus on that one thing and memorize that one thing. Step three is have good notes to study off of. I will make a how to take efficient notes video soon, so stay tuned for that. But for now, just know that you gotta take good notes in order to study well off of them and make them understandable to you. What I do when I study my notes is I rewrite them because I believe that writing down and rewriting things helps you remember more, and that's kind of like what I do, but it may be different for you. And by rewriting things, I get to pick through what I do and do not know, and the things I don't know, I kind of step back, stop rewriting, and research the stuff that I don't know so that I know it. So I read through my textbook or I search things online to try to understand the thing that I don't know better. And then once I understand it, I start rewriting my notes again, and then the whole cycle continues. Then step four is I go through PowerPoints and other things that the professor puts online for me. I know a lot of you guys probably don't even do that. I find it useful when I do to go through the things that your professor puts on, because those extra things actually do help. Sometimes they're like mini lectures, mini summaries of the stuff that we've done in class, or they're just practice tests for you to work on, and then they put the answers online too. So the more practice you do, the better you're going to get at something. Just like in chemistry, that's kind of like how chemistry works and how to understand it. So I really suggest to look through the extra things that professor puts online for you. Step five is to take breaks. Taking breaks is important because you don't want your brain to go on overload and then overstudy. Pushing your brain too much with no breaks will tire it out and you just won't be able to retain anything whatsoever. So what I do is I study for like an hour to an hour and a half, and then I take a 30-minute break, and in that 30 minutes I would nap, get coffee, record a video, edit a video, clean my room, and just do like tiny little things, keep myself distracted. I just don't want to like focus on one thing all at once, or else, as I said, your brain will go on overload. After those 30 minutes, I would just go back and do my work and study again. So it's kind of like a cycle you have to go through, but 30-minute minimum break is like the best. Step six is to fill out or make your own study guide. I know this can get a little tedious and annoying, but it really does help when you make your own study guide or fill a study guide out. It doesn't work for every class, but it will work for some of them, like chemistry or anatomy. If you want to, you just really need to push yourself to create different things to help you remember certain things. I mean, just use your imagination and be creative. Recently, I had an anatomy lab exam, and I had to remember literally every bone in the body and every every little crease and little hole in every single bone. And a week ago, I told myself that I was never gonna learn how to do this and I was never gonna remember all of these little things. But then I took time and made a study guide and drew everything, labeled every little thing, and made acronyms to memorize bone placement and stuff. So if you do this, then it'll help you a lot. And I went into my anatomy lab and out of my anatomy lab feeling really confident in myself and in my tests. So if you do this, it will help you, I promise. Step 7 is to try to study with friends. Making study groups is so efficient when you're studying because sometimes you just won't get a topic or material that you're going to be tested on. So you want to make friends in your classes and create study groups with them, because if you don't know it, maybe they will. And a lot of times, my professors always tell me, if you don't get it in class, have someone else teach it to you. They might teach it to you in a language that you understand it better rather than the professor teaching it to you in their own language, because they've known it for how many years. Meanwhile, you have a fresh brain delivering the material to you that's your peer and in your own language, so it'll help you a little better. Now, step 8 is to space out your studying. Like I said before, for my anatomy exam last week, I probably wouldn't have known that I would know all of these things, but I started studying for this exam last week and not the day before. Spacing out your studying helps you get a lot of things done quicker and helps you remember a lot of things better, because you're not cramming everything into your brain and making it go into maximum overload. You know that SpongeBob scene when so many things are happening and his brain is crashing. So yeah. Definitely space out your studying. It also helps you to have time to ask questions to your professor or your friends, because you'll go through it step by step and it won't be the day before and you won't be rushing for an answer. Meanwhile, if you email your professor and they get back to you a little late, that's okay, because you're studying ahead of time and you get your question answered ahead of time, not right before the test to think about, you know? Also, studying in spaces will most likely help your mental health, because you won't be stressed and have too much anxiety before the exam because you're cramming the night before. So save your mental health and study in spaces ahead of time. And then step 9 is to find a perfect study location. It could be either in the library, in a study room, in an empty classroom, in your dorm, in your common room, in your room at home, and on the quad, in the caf, or if you have a car on campus, you could go off campus and find a nice place. Any of these places work as long as it's comfortable for you. Personally, I like studying in my room or in the Starbucks on campus or in the library. Those are pretty chill vibes for me, so I like studying there. I like having an aesthetic place because it helps me think better, but it's really up to you and your preference and where you want to study. But try to find the perfect study location, because most likely if you study there, you'll get a lot of work done. So try to think of that when trying to study for your next exam. The last step, step 10, is to eat, sleep, and hydrate. Don't get too caught up in the grade of it all, and also focus on your health as well, because you want to stay healthy. So make sure you get a lot of sleep, make sure you eat, make sure you drink a lot of water, and of course coffee, because it helps. This is also helpful on the night before and the day of the exam. So stay healthy, and yep. So that is all I have for you guys for study tips. They're more of tips than steps, so ignore me when I say steps. But yeah, I hope you find all of these tips helpful to you, and let me know what tips work better for you and what you actually do when you study. Maybe they can help me. And yeah, so I hope you liked this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell button down below to get post notifications for whenever I post. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.